All right. Hello, everybody. Wow, right on time. How's everybody feeling tonight? Great. Okay, rock us. Let's just take a minute. Come on in. Come on in. Just take 1 second. I love to always, whenever I'm introducing Lou, which has never happened, but given all the stuff in the world, I do love to just take a moment. If we could just put our feet flat on the floor. And just feel into the floor. Feel your body into the seat. And let's just take 1 second and take your deepest breath. That was good. Let's do one more. Deepest breath. All right. We're here. Very rarely does anything good come out of two guys meeting in an alley. Believe me. But my friendship with Lou is one of those very rare good things. We were both lost on our way trying to find a dinner on South Congress 4 years ago, I think it was. And we ran into each other, and Lou found the way. And I think that's really the headline of the 4 years of us being friends. Lou's always finding the way. And I think everyone here who knows him knows that's the case in many ways in all of our lives in terms of Lou. And he was so full of life that it never crossed my mind that the guy had died. Nor did it cross my mind once I learned that fact that he would be willing at some point to dig deep and share with us what he's learned since he came back. And as I told him a few nights ago, it is one of the rarest and greatest gifts any person can give another person, to come back from the dead and tell us something interesting. Everybody give a round of applause to welcome our friend, Lou Marchetti.
All right. Casey just got himself a job to always introduce me. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Casey. This wouldn't happen without you pushing me and your guidance as I dug deep to figure out what it is that I actually did learn and learning how to live again. And thank you all for being here. Thanks for taking time out of an evening on a Tuesday, and for everyone at home watching this virtually. We are live streaming here, which is very exciting. First time I've ever done that. Thanks for being here. I'm excited to share this with you today. So without further ado, should we do this? Yeah. All right. I am Lou Marchetti, and this is Dying to Live. 6 years ago, I died on a gym floor. May 16th, 2019 started like any other day. I woke up at 5:45 a.m. and ran to my local CrossFit gym. I needed to make the next 24 hours count. The day before, I was in Boston. The next day, Philly. 3 cities, 3 days, training every day for a mountain climb in Europe. That was my life. My trainer tells me that I finished the workout and collapsed. My eyes rolled to the back of my head. I gasped for air. My body turned gray. My heart had stopped. And within minutes, I would have been pronounced dead, if not for the work of 2 women that day, really angels. The first grabbed the AED and shocked my heart with 1,000 volts. The second started chest compressions with enough force to break my ribs, while the other began mouth to mouth. They pumped my blood and filled my lungs until the EMTs arrived, who immediately shoved a breathing tube down my throat, hooked me up to life support, and rushed me off to the hospital. There, the medical team dropped me into a coma and hypothermia protocol. For 36 hours, The doctors and the nurses watched over me, hoping they'd done enough. My wife, Jessica, will always remember getting that phone call. Only 2 days before, she had taken the leap. She resigned from her dream job in New York to take a chance on me in a relationship that had ended 3 times before. Now, she was on a plane, flying into the terrifying unknown. My mom, a trained nurse, was at home in Nashville. Confusion, then fear. She jumped on the next flight, gripped her rosary tightly, and prayed for the best, hoping to at least say goodbye to her eldest son, the one whom she calls her favorite child. Now, they would tell you what any doctor would tell you. This was not supposed to happen to me. I was 41 years old, and according to my physical, more fit than 98% of men my age. 6'6", 200 pounds, 9% body fat, with a resting heart rate of 36 beats per minute. And zero coronary issues. The doctor called me a specimen, which I absolutely loved, by the way. He wanted to talk more about my Division I college football career than about my health. While we both had a big laugh that my only medical issue was an embarrassing one. I had jock itch. I not only seemed physically unstoppable, but at life too. I went to the right schools, I got the fancy jobs, I drove the cool car, was dating the beautiful girl, and making more money than I'd ever imagined possible. I was living the dream. At least, I thought I was. What my family didn't know, and it's taken me all these years to realize, is that a nightmare was quietly unfolding. Not only physically, but emotionally, spiritually, and in my relationships too. I rarely made quality time for those I loved, and when I did, it was The Lou Marchetti Show, starring guess who? Me, my mom, Jessica, everybody else. They were just the supporting cast. And I was so busy and so self-absorbed that I had no idea. Now, I lay in a coma. I lay in a coma, likely to never wake up, to never say goodbye, to never say I'm sorry, to never say I love you one more time. 9 out of 10 people who go into cardiac arrest die. And of those lucky enough to survive, 9 out of 10 have permanent brain damage. I had a 1% chance. Well, I obviously didn't die, but I'll let you decide, or better yet, you can ask my wife here, if I have brain damage. What I do have is a pacemaker and a defibrillator, a safeguard in case my heart ever stops again, and a story about learning to live again, which I'll share with all of you tonight. Now, you may be asking some very logical questions, which is exactly what my boss did. You went to the other side, Lou, he said. So what'd you learn? Very resolutely, I responded. I'm in the right place at the right time, doing what I love, and I don't need to change a thing. Looking back, I find this answer to be absolutely ridiculous. At the same time, completely understandable. I was not ready to process why this all happened, and I damn sure wasn't ready to change my ways. So I clung to my uncomfortably comfortable past way of life. I doubled down, determined to show the world that my near death was just a minor setback in me summiting the mountaintop of success. And only 5 short weeks after cardiac arrest, I started with an actual mountain. And not just any mountain, but Mont Blanc, the highest peak in Europe, and the deadliest too. This massive glacier stands at 16,000 feet and has taken an estimated 8,000 lives. What a comeback story, right? Man collapses on gym floor, miraculously saved, then sprints up Mont Blanc only weeks later. I wanted, no, I needed this story to come true. And it was. As I stood atop a nearby peak, I could look off at Mont Blanc in the distance, and I just knew that I was back. Then it all came tumbling down. A rock the size of a seat cushion shook loose and smashed my right hand. My close friend and climbing partner, a physician, took one look and said, "It's broken, Lou." "No shit," I responded. What happens next is a scene out of a movie. A helicopter crests over the face of the mountain, lands just feet from us, spinning up snow and ice everywhere, scoops me up, then disappears. Now, I'll spare you the gory details of the medieval surgery that saved this hand, but none of it, none of it, hurt as badly as hearing a French physician almost fall out of his chair shouting, "No, no, 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 montagne," when I asked if I could still climb. Now, it's funny now, but I was devastated back then. So with this second resounding sign from above, what did I do? Did I ponder the bigger meaning of these events? Did I finally leave my high-powered finance job? Did I change anything at all? No, at least not yet. If I couldn't summit Mont Blanc, I could at least summit the corporate ladder. So I shifted my energy to work, determined to get promoted. Everything seemed to be going according to plan. Then 2 years to the day of my cardiac arrest, a series of calls with my new boss went south. No, I can't tell you much about what happened on those calls, other than that he told me what I thought I would never hear from anyone in any job. I was fired. When my heart stopped, I was embarrassed. My hand was crushed, pissed. When I was fired, all kinds of emotions, starting with the most unexpected one, relief. Relief from this job and the need to prove myself ever since that very first review 12 long years before, where I heard, "You may not have what it takes to be here." Now I was free. If I was being honest, I would have jumped through that Zoom screen, given my boss a big hug and said, "Thank you." But who the hell says thank you to the person that just fired you? Definitely not me. So I played it cool. And from everybody else, I hid. For 6 months, I hid. Outwardly projecting confidence, awaiting my official exit date. But inside, I was spiraling. What defined me most, my invincibility and my job, were gone. And no matter what I did or how hard I worked, they were not coming back. Behind the three-piece suit was a scared little boy who just wanted to belong. In the end, it was not a broken heart or a broken hand. It was a broken ego that finally caused me to stop and examine my life. My stopping started at the most woo-woo place I could find, the Esalen Institute in Big Sur, California. And true to form, I chose the most intense sounding retreat on the website, total immersion for total transformation. I was going to fucking transform and figure out my next job too. What I actually learned was how to feel emotions, to allow these emotions to circulate in and out of the body, like the waves of the ocean. And the most powerful wave, exhaustion. I was tired. I was so tired. Absolutely exhausted from sprinting this marathon called life. I'd filled that unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, a mantra my dad had imprinted on me as a boy. I had learned all the things. I had done all the things a successful man should learn and do. And it left me nearly dead. Yet, as good as this stopping felt at first, it soon felt like its own strange death. I could barely sit still. barely enjoy the quiet moments without thinking of the 167 things that I should or could be doing right then and right there. That old ingrained part of me kept taunting. What if you lose your edge, Lou? People kept asking me, so what is it that you're doing these days? I froze. I second-guessed myself. I wanted to make something up. Instead, I told them all the things I had done. I gave them a resume. A wise friend suggested I have one free day a week. One. No meetings, no workouts, no plans, nothing. I didn't have a job, no kids, no real responsibilities. This would be pretty easy, right? Have any of you tried taking a free day? Just 6 weeks into stopping, I almost started again. A mentor and a hero to me in this country offered me a dream job, and I was so excited. Just a few months earlier, I would have jumped at this opportunity. But my body, the same one that tried to warn me all those years before, wouldn't let me. My stomach knotted, my chest, my forehead tightened. This time, I listened and said to him, I'm honored, but no thank you. When I hung up that phone, my body released, and I knew I'd made the right decision. So what began as 6 weeks became 6 months, then a year-long sabbatical, a word which means to rest. And it did look like rest to most people, but I was not resting. I was beginning a new kind of work, a more difficult kind of work, an inner work. The problem was, I couldn't describe it to anybody. I could barely describe it to you today. This new work led me to a voice alchemist in Santa Fe. Now picture me lying on a bed, middle of the day, lights off, single candle lit. She starts chanting in tongues, drums beating in the background as she scans my body. My resistance fell away, and I went to a totally different place. My body pulsed and pulsed with energy. I saw a blazing pillar of fire reaching up through outer space. An hour felt like 5 minutes. And when this journey ended, I was surprised by what she told me. I didn't tell her about my heart stopping, but she saw a broken heart, shattered in a past life, but now beginning to heal. Wait, what? This Catholic-raised boy was skeptical, but I leaned in, intrigued. She also saw that same pillar of fire that I had seen. It was the fire inside of me, catching wild, almost extinguishing itself as it tried to leave this world. As crazy as all this sounds, her words resonated deep within me. The doctors had no answers, but somehow she did, and I wanted more. So I went wandering off into the unknown. Oh, I got lost, and it was terrifying. But it was a hell of a lot more fun to be searching than to be certain. And this big kid, I love a big adventure. So I just kept on going, kept on getting lost. And the more lost I got, the more wisdom I seemed to find. From the teachers of yesteryear, Rumi, Rilke, Campbell, and Watts, and those of today, Rohr, White, Mumford, and Brock. I not only studied, I meditated, journaled, chanted, bathed naked in the springs, howled at the moon, "Ow!" trying on whatever practice or whatever teaching resonated. Yet, I found the greatest teacher of all in the person I live with every day, my wife. Oh, she supported me, but she also challenged me. She resisted me. When I got dogmatic, preaching atop my high horse, judging her and everybody else, certain that my way was the right way, she reminded me that I was not Luru the guru. She kept me grounded. One morning in our kitchen, I was waxing poetically about yet another philosophical breakthrough I'd had when I turned to her and said, "So what do you think, loves?" After a few moments, she must have realized that I was talking to her, and she looked up from fixing her breakfast and simply responded, "I think I want some bacon on it." I could only laugh and say, Thank you. I really needed that. Without even trying, she was teaching me that my journey isn't all about enlightenment, but about acceptance, meeting her where she is and me where I am. You see, after visiting that voice alchemist, I'd come to resent my fire, blaming it for my death. And yeah, I did need to cool those flames. But as with damn near everything else I do in life, I took it too far. I tried to destroy those flames, to drown my ambition. But I couldn't, because I am that fire, and that fire is me. And yet, I'm also water. I'm the old me, and I am the new me. After all, it was the old me who taught me how to be truly alive, deeply connected to myself and to the world around me. When I played football for the love of the game, when I left finance the first time. And it was the new me who remembered how to live this way when I got down on one knee and proposed to my wife, when I first held our newborn son. It's not about killing any part of me or becoming someone new either. It's about becoming whole, the alchemy of all these parts. I am all of me, and you are all of you. Yet, being all of me or all of you sometimes still isn't enough. To meet life's biggest moments, we need each other. When I'd wake up lost, wondering what the hell I was doing, longing to go back to what I knew, it wasn't the gurus, but the people all around me, living messy lives just like me, who showed the way. It was my new friend, a mother of 4 and a recent widow, who traded her stable teaching job for the chance to direct another film. It was my very close childhood friend, a husband and father, who faced his addictions head-on, sought help, and asked forgiveness. It was my very own parents, who after nearly 50 years of marriage, sought counseling to save it. We shared our struggles, our stories, and our strength. Together, we kept going. I'd always viewed life as this big competition with myself, with other people, probably with all of you. But what if life could be a conversation, a healing, life-giving conversation, a journey not to independence, but into connection? After all, what's the point in being whole if we're whole all by ourselves? There comes a moment in self-discovery when we discover that it was never just about us, but about sharing ourselves with the world. Sometimes we just need an invitation. Almost a year into my sabbatical, mine came. I was speaking with a new friend who was burnout, looking for answers. And he asked a simple question. Do you know of any groups of regular people, he said, going through these big life transitions together? No, I said, but man, I wish I did. And then it hit me. I'd had this same conversation over 70 times. Wait, I thought to myself, am I supposed to start a group? Well, how do you start a group? And what do I know anyways? But as unprepared as I felt, I couldn't unsee it. The next step in my journey was to gather people ready to stop and start asking the hard questions, people ready to start living the questions. Each time I host this group, I arrive feeling inadequate and leave feeling empowered. And that is the magic of these moments. When we bravely show up and get very real with ourselves and one another, incredible things happen. Problems dissolve, friendships form, and we leave feeling more whole, more connected, more alive. Maybe you long for this feeling. Maybe you felt it. Or maybe you feel something very different. I sure did. Surrounded by others, but alone, disconnected, frightened to take a look in the mirror, afraid of who we might see. burnout, anxiety, depression, maybe even suicide crosses our minds. Or maybe we are just too busy to even notice. Whatever your story is, how many of us are coping by living in a state of fear, anger, apathy, avoidance, not knowing why we are doing it, then waking up tomorrow exhausted to do it all over again? Not everyone's got time for a sabbatical, but you can create minutes each day, hours each week, weeks each month, each year, to step away from that noise, to stop and to listen. Listen to that voice inside of you, whispering or possibly screaming. What is it saying? Today, 6 years after dying on a gym floor, I'm still listening, still learning, still getting lost, still trying to understand who I am and why I'm still here with all of you today. I may never know, and that's okay. But what I do know is that whenever I leave this earth for good, my 2-year-old son, Lewis, will know that his daddy chose to live his second chance at life, not in fear, but in freedom. The freedom to stop hiding and to do the thing that truly terrifies me. Open myself up and share this story with all of you. Maybe, just maybe, you'll hear it. Stop and bravely ask yourself those questions. The questions that may set you free. The ones you've been avoiding. The one that I avoided until it was almost too late. What if you stopped? What if you just stopped? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.